Hey guys, Charlie here, back for another video. Today I'm going to be ranking the solo catalogue of one of my absolute favorite singers of all time, the legendary Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne. We pretty much all know the story. He became famous as the lead singer of Black Sabbath in the 70s, one of my favorite bands of all time. Then he got fired from Sabbath in the late 70s and went on to form his solo band and has been releasing solo albums ever since. He's had a lot of really great players in his band, most notably partnerships with guitarists like Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee, Zakk Wylde, Gus G, and on his most recent album he had Andrew Watt, who's producer for artists like Post Malone and stuff. So we've got 11 studio albums to talk about here. I'm not going to include the covers album. These are all the albums of original material. Most of this catalog I do like quite a bit. There's a couple at the bottom that I'm not crazy about, but none of these albums are terrible by any means, and a lot of really fantastic stuff. Ozzy Osbourne solo, one of my favorite bands of all time. I like them just as much, if not maybe even a little bit more than Black Sabbath, but both easily top 10 of all time for sure. So let's get into it. Coming at the bottom at number 11, and if you see me looking down here, I'm just looking at my ranking that I've got written down. Number 11 is going to be Down to Earth from 2001. This was the first album he made after the reunion tour with Black Sabbath. With this album, it kind of continued on the sound of OZZMOSIS, like that kind of more slow and dark and kind of doomy sound. But which I'm okay with Ozzy doing that kind of thing. There's a couple of albums that are like that I do like a lot, but I find with this album, like, I think there were a lot of outside songwriters coming in for it, and I find that which I don't really mind, but I find that a lot of the songs just feel kind of fatigued and just too slow and depressing, and they're not quite as memorable as the other ones. I don't think the riffs from Zakk Wylde are all that memorable. There is some good songs though. Facing Hell is a really great song. Dreamer is a good ballad. No Easy Way Out's pretty good. Black Illusion's a really cool song. The rest I find kind of by the numbers, not very memorable. It's not terrible. It's an okay album, but not great either. So that's number 11, Down to Earth. Number 10, we're going to go with the album that came after that, actually, Black Rain from 2007. This was the last album to feature Zakk Wylde on guitar. This is a pretty decent album. Again, it's kind of got that, like, slow and grungy feel. I find the songs are just kind of uninspired on this one. I also don't think the production's great. It's really kind of dry and lifeless in spots, and the playing and the songwriting just feels quite uninspired. But excuse me, again, some good stuff. I Don't Want to Stop is a good song. The Almighty Dollar's okay. My favorite song would probably be Civilize the Universe. That's got a good chorus on it. The ballad Here For You, I honestly think is one of the better songs on it. The last song, Trapdoor, is okay. Again, it's got that kind of slow and depressing feel. It's a decent album, so not bad, but yeah, that's coming in at number 10. I will say those bottom two albums are kind of okay, not great. Pretty much all the ones from here on up I like quite a bit. So coming in at number 9, I'm going to go with the most recent album, Ordinary Man from last year. I think this album's pretty good. I know it was the reviews on it were kind of mixed. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I find it pretty enjoyable. It's not one of his best, but I like it. This has Andrew Watt on guitar. And the last song, It's a Raid, features Post Malone. So I think the songs on this album are pretty enjoyable. Straight to Hell is a good one to kick it off. All My Life's a really good song. I like the title track a lot. Under the Graveyard is great. Today is the End. The last song, It's a Rave with Post Malone, is actually a really cool song. It's like a good fast-paced one. Oh, excuse me, my throat's a bit dry this morning. So yeah, that's Ordinary Man coming in at number 9. Pretty good album, actually. I listed it as one of my favorite albums from last year, even though I didn't actually hear a lot of new releases in 2020. I do know that a lot of people like to crap on Ozzy's post-Osmosis stuff. I wouldn't quite agree with that. Later on, I will talk about an album from like this later era that I do like a lot, and I think was definitely a massive improvement over the last couple. Down to Earth and Black Rain are okay, not great, but Ordinary Man's pretty good. So, coming in at number 8, just trying to find it here. I'm just got the track listing up on my laptop here. Number 8, I know I'm probably going to get a little flack for this because I'm ranking kind of a classic album low on the list. I do like this album a lot, but it does just come in kind of low. I'm going to go with Bark at the Moon from 1983. This is the first album to include Jake E. Lee on guitar, who is a really good player, and his guitar work on the 2 albums is really good. A lot of great songs. The title track to kick it off is fantastic. You're No Difference, pretty decent ballad. Now You See It, Now You Don't is great. Rock and Roll Rebel, Center of Eternity. The last song, Waiting for Darkness, is really cool as well. So, Bark at the Moon, really good album, coming in at number 8. Number 7, we're going to go with the album that came after it, The Ultimate Sin from 1986. This is the second and last album to feature Jake E. Lee on guitar. I think this album's just a little bit more consistent than Bark at the Moon. They could change. These 3 here could change. My numbers 8, 7, and 6 could change any day, depending on my mood. But for now, this is the ranking that they're in. A lot of really good stuff on The Ultimate Sin. With the 2 Jake albums, he was kind of trying to shift more like a commercial glam hair metal type thing that was really popular at the time. A lot of kind of synthesizers on it, and it's got the big production and those kind of like melodies and stuff. I do like this album quite a bit. The title track is really good. Secret Loser, Thank God for the Bomb. Never's a really good song. Lightning Strikes is great. And then, of course, the last song, Shot in the Dark, might be my favorite song on the album. That's kind of the really popular song from this album. So, just got a notification there. So yeah, really good album, Ultimate Sin, coming in at number 7. Number 6, I'm going to go with the debut album, Blizzard of Oz, from 1980. The first album to feature Randy Rhoads on guitar, and this was Ozzy's first solo album after being kicked out of Black Sabbath. I like this album quite a bit. For me, it's kind of a peaks and valleys album. Like, it's held up by a couple of really good songs. Then there's some songs that I'm not a huge fan of, but it is still a really good album. I don't know. Obviously, it's got Crazy Train, which is fantastic. Got excellent guitar playing from Randy in it. Goodbye to Romance, which is a pretty good ballad. Suicide Solution, Mr. Crowley, all classic songs. No Bone Movies is kind of a throwaway song, not crazy about that. Revelation Mother Earth is pretty decent, but not great. I will say the last song, Steal Away the Night, I think is a really good song. It's got a really nice chorus on that. So, Blizzard of Oz, like this album a lot. Good, solid stuff here, coming in at number 6. Now we're into the top 5. All these top 5 albums I really like a lot. Number 5, this does seem like kind of a somewhat unpopular opinion, but I put Osmosis at number 5. I know this is kind of Ozzy fans have kind of mixed receptions toward this album. A lot of people really love it. Some people don't like it that much. And most Ozzy fans don't really like anything after it. But I really like this album a lot. It's kind of that when they're starting to go into like the slow and grungy feel, but obviously this was in the 90s, so it's grungy time, so that kind of makes sense. And I will say I like this a lot. I think the songwriting's really good. I like Zakk Wylde's guitar work a lot. Like as I do the first couple albums with him. Perry Mason to kick it off is great. There's a bunch of ballads on here, but I actually really like all the ballads. Like I Just Want You, Ghost Behind My Eyes, See You on the Other Side, My Little Man, Old LA Tonight's really good. And the heavy songs are great as well. Thunder Underground is one of my favorite Ozzy songs on the album. Got a really fantastic heavy riff from Zakk. That's awesome. Tomorrow's great. My Jekyll Doesn't Hide is a very cool song. So OZZMOSIS, great album, love it a lot. Coming in at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to go with Diary of a Madman from 1981. I know a lot of people do rank this as Ozzy's best album, and I like it a lot. It's really great. I think Randy's guitar playing is definitely better on this than on from the first album, Blizzard of Oz. I think the step up, I think there's a big step up. This was a big improvement over Blizzard. A lot of great songs. Over the Mountain, great. Flying High Again is fantastic. Really cool party song. You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, which is a kind of a ballad, but I really like that a lot. Got great lyrics and stuff. Believer, Little Dolls is a great song. Got a really cool drum intro. Great melody. SATO is pretty good. I haven't a clue what SATO stands for. The title track to close it off is really good as well. So again, fantastic album. Diary of a Madman coming in at number 4. Number 3, I'm going to go with, just trying to find it here, No Rest for the Wicked from 1988. This is the first album to include Zakk Wylde on guitar. With this one, they kind of strip back to more of like a basic, traditional metal sound. They kind of took away like the keyboards and like hand metal elements and stuff. It's kind of much more of a raw, stripped down album, but the production's still really good, and I think the songs are fantastic. Got a lot of great guitar playing from Zakk Wylde. Great songs. Miracle Man is great. Devil's Daughter, Holy War, and Bloodbath in Paradise are 2 of my favorite Ozzy songs of all time. Just really awesome, fast-paced stuff. Got great riffs in them. Crazy Babies is fun. Fire in the Sky is a great song. Tattooed Dancer and Demon Alcohol to close it off are both really awesome, fast-paced ones. Like that a lot. The song Hero, I don't know if that was on the original version of the album or just added later as a bonus track. I know The Liar was a bonus track, but No Rest for the Wicked, fantastic album, always been one of my absolute favorites. Even though the last 2 albums with Zakk I didn't think were that great, Zakk Wylde is, I would say, definitely my favorite Ozzy guitar player. Just really great riffs and solos throughout those first 3 albums with him. I'd say my second favorite guitar player, I know this is going to be a very unpopular pick, but would probably be Gus G on Scream, coming in at number 2 from 2010. I know I'm going to get a lot of heck for this. I know a lot of people really don't like any of Ozzy's post-OZZMOSIS albums. I disagree with that. I think this album is really fantastic. This is the only album to feature Gus G on guitar. He's from his own band, Firewind. I really love this album. I think bringing in Gus G and replacing him with Zakk was a really good thing. It kind of gave the band a fresh start, and I think the songwriting and riffs and everything on this album is just a massive, massive improvement from Black Rain and Down to Earth. And I think the production is much better as well, even though this and Black Rain are both produced by Kevin Churko, who is also drumming on this album. I think Gus G's guitar tone is really great as well. He's got lots of great riffs and solos on all these songs, like I love pretty much everything on this album. Let It Die is great. Let Me Hear You Scream, absolutely fantastic. Got just a tremendous shredding, and it's just got such energy. Easily a top 3 Aussie song for me. Soul Sucker is fantastic. Life Won't Wait, Digging Me Down, Crucify is a really cool song. And I think this album is also kind of a much happier sounding album, even though it's still got that, like, kind of slow and down tune feel. I think the band sound like they're having fun again, so love it a lot. Fearless is great. Time is a really beautiful ballad. I Want It More. Latimer's Mercy. And the Spotify version of this album includes a bonus track called One More Time, which I don't know why that's not on the regular version of the album. That's a fantastic song. So Scream, amazing album. If you're kind of brushed it off, I would highly recommend going back to it. Fantastic stuff here. Coming in at number 2. And number 1 is going to be No More Tears from 1991. This is my favorite Ozzy album. The second 2 include Zakk Wylde. To me, this is just a pretty perfect album from start to finish. I think Zakk Wylde's guitar playing is great. It's great production. It's a heavy album, and just love all the songs on it to death. Mr. Tinker Train, I Don't Want to Change the World, fantastic. You just got Mama, I'm Coming Home, which is a really great ballad. Desire's got a great riff. Title track, possibly my favorite Aussie song of all time. Absolutely fantastic, slow, dark, and epic stuff. Got a great bass line. Won't Be Coming Home, SIN is pretty good. It's got Hellraiser, which is co-written with Lemmy from Motorhead, and their version of that song is available on the March or Die album. Zombie Stomp's pretty cool. AVH is a really cool, underrated song. And then it closes off with Road to Nowhere, which is another excellent ballad. So, No More Tears, my favorite Aussie album of all time. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So there you have it. Thank you very much, Ozzy Osbourne album ranking. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave your ranking in the comments below. And more importantly, go listen to some Ozzy. Later on, probably late next week at some point, I was thinking of doing like an extreme album ranking, a really good band. If you only know them for the song More Than Words and Wholehearted, you're dramatically misled. Thanks for watching, and see you later.